Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we created this show for you, specifically for you, because we want everybody with an invisible condition to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that they have a voice, they have a community, and they are never alone. And today, I'm very excited to tell you about my guest that I have on. His name is Zak Clayton, and I'll tell you what, his story is crazy. So one night in August of 21, he was involved in a motorcycle accident that just turned his life upside down, and his injuries included a traumatic brain injury, TBI, right? Normally known as a TBI, brain hemorrhage and broken skull and I'm going to say broken face, but bones in the face broken. Oh my gosh. So of course there's a lot of things that he deals with day to day now that we're going to get into during the show. Migraines and just all kinds of crazy stuff that I can totally relate to, by the way. With everything that he lives with and deals with and suffers from post crazy accident, Zak is still committed to making some form of progress every single day, which I love. And to the point that he actually founded something called Community Pay It Forward, which we're going to definitely get into later in the show. An organization with a vision to empower individuals, businesses, and charitable missions to make a positive impact, a positive difference in their communities. So no matter what's happened to you, you can still make a positive difference. And that's what Zak's doing. And I absolutely love it. And I can't wait for you to meet him. Let's bring him on. Let me grab this right here. Here he comes. There we go. Welcome, Zak. Good morning.
How you doing, Jeff? And forgive my unpreparedness on this, but actually the accident was in 2014.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a day or two, but it's still pretty fresh and
14. Okay, I got that wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
I was close. All right.
I guess as fresh as it can be in your mind when you don't remember it.
Well, the memory is only the second thing to go. Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. Just don't ask me what the first is. I forgot that years ago.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's our thing now. Because it's
As we were talking about, it's probably the John Lithgow hair.
I feel like that's the mantra of anybody with a brain injury. Memory's the first thing to go, and I forgot the second. But yeah, man. Speaking of 2014, just throw yourself back there and tell us about it, man. The aftermath of a motorcycle versus pickup truck or something, right?
Well, actually, you know what? I couldn't really tell you. I couldn't really tell you what it was versus. It was one of those things that I was coming around a blind corner here in northern Colorado, in Loveland, and we were celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Windjammer Roadhouse. Dear friend of mine who has recently passed away, Lisa Miller, she asked me to come and work the door for her me being a biker and somebody who's a little larger,
Sure.
or the polite way of saying I'm fat.
Your bouncer material. Let's just call it that.
No. And see, the term bouncer has always been one funny for me because I don't bounce when they hit me.
No, I know. It's a funny word. I think it's just because you bounce people from the place.
Yeah. What happens is I hit the floor and I splat. It's splatter would be a better term, but
that's not as intimidating.
Yeah, it's definitely not as intimidating.
So you were on your way to help her.
Yeah, well, actually, I was on my way back from helping her. We were gonna. I had a group of my cousin and a couple of girlfriends and a couple other friends that we were gonna go, and we were going to stay the night at a place called Beaver's Den Leather.
Cool.
Another wonderful friend that we teamed with all the time, and they had already headed on up there, and I was saying my goodbyes and finishing up my duties there at the Windjammer. And on my way up, I went around this blind rock, and there was somebody who was in my lane, and I ended up hitting soft dirt. And one of two things happened, Jeff, and this is what I always tell people. One, I either panicked, which is highly possible,
totally understandable.
Yeah, or the biker jerk came out, and I was going to take and hit my brakes and turn around and chase this person down.
well,
what
as well.
Yeah, what ended up happening though was I lost control of the bike. I caught control again, but then I slammed on my brakes, and when I slammed on my brakes, it threw me into a fence and left me there for 7 hours.
Okay.
So,
Yikes.
but so, I guess the good news is that there's a couple bits of good news there. One is I went camping. It's what I was planning on doing. And so, that's another part of this is my wife wasn't worried because she knew I was camping with these girlfriends and my cousin. She knew I was going to be camping, so she had no worries. I would have picked the place without the cactus though, because sleeping on the cactus was a little uncomfortable. I come to find out.
Yeah.
But and the other thing that I always tell people is I'm glad that the people who ran me off the road, who forced me off the road, came back and shut the lights off on my bike because Harley Davidson batteries, buddy. HD means $100 because everything costs at least $100 on a Harley Davidson, and their batteries are
short-lived at best, huh?
Oh my, they cost a lot of money. So
maybe they need to make a deal with Duracell, right? The copper top, Energizer Bunny, right? The one that lasts forever and ever and ever. Maybe they need to.
I would say that, but I'm afraid that would just make Energizer batteries cost a lot more. So.
Well, that's true. That's true. All because of you Harley guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Us Harley guys out there, in our leather raising ruckus, and
that's all right. I don't mind the Harley guys. It's the guys on the rice rockets that drive.
Yeah. Well,
the ones that you can still hear them from a mile away, but you can't see them because they're flying by you so fast.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's just like an auto driver. There's good ones and there's bad ones on both sides. Those sports bikes, they're amazingly agile.
Yes.
Now I know that we've got an individual that went from Colorado Springs to Denver in less than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
On one just recently, and that's insane. As a biker, and I'm just going to tell people right now, as a biker, and yes, I am still a biker.
Nice.
As a biker, those guys upset us more than they upset you as cagers, as auto drivers, because they are the reasons why people don't care, why people are still looking at their cell phones, and why they're still killing our friends. Because if we got people out there showing that we don't care about ourselves, why are you going to care about us?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, and I don't want to ask a stupid question or anything, but you were wearing a helmet, right?
I actually was not, and if I would have been, as you can see the gash in my head, would have been wearing the helmet, the kind of helmet I did have for when I went to states like Missouri that had a helmet law, it was just a skull cap is what they're called.
Yeah.
So it's a helmet that comes right across here. If I would have been wearing that helmet, the fence would have caught me right there and would have pulled my head back and possibly broken my neck.
Worse.
It could have made it. It could have made it so much worse. So
I thought Colorado had a helmet law, but I guess not.
No, we don't.
Well,
no.
Anyway, moving on. I don't want to get talking about motorcycles for an hour, so let's get. We could, but let's not.
I could. That's for sure.
That's not what people are here to talk about. Let's talk about what happened, man. So I'm just going to throw this out there to the audience that's watching right now. So anybody out there that has suffered a TBI from whatever the reason, if it's from an accident, if it's from wiping out on your bicycle, on your road bike, on your motorbike, on I don't know, slipping on the ice in the parking lot. Let's talk about it, man. We've got Zach for almost an hour here. Let's you've got some experience here. Let's talk to him. Reach out through Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and I mean, we'll have contact info for him too throughout the show, and you can always reach out to him if you want to participate in what he's doing. But for sure, we're here live for a little bit, so take advantage of it if you want. But so what were some of the? So of course, obviously, there's challenges that present themselves after an accident like that. No brainer, right? Duh, of course. Physical, I'm sure, probably emotional challenges. Like what were you dealing with after the accident? Like immediately after, what was life like?
Immediately after, my first thought was always with my family.
Yeah.
My oldest son was finishing up college in Japan. He was in a student program, and in a student exchange program, and I was just doing whatever I could to make sure that he didn't come home. I didn't want him to come home.
No.
I just wanted to make sure he knew I was okay. Justice, my youngest son, he was fantastic. He's still fantastic, but he had to sit there and he had to look at his dad, and his, dad, who's not a prize to begin with, when it comes on to the looks thing, but he had to sit there and he had to look at dad as, dad was now, I had palsy, and I still have the palsy on the right side of my face, as you guys can clearly see. The right side, my right eye doesn't work correctly. I'm deaf in my right ear. And it had a lot of damage there. And then of course I had my wife and my friends who, were there for me, because see, Jeff, the one thing that I want, the one thing that's hard to believe, but is true, Jeff, I walked around for 3 years with a broken neck and nobody knew about it. They didn't diagnose it. So that led to a lot of the headaches, because as you know, with all of your head experience, let's put it that way, having problems there in the vascular region of your head, and having your muscles tense up, and those of you who don't know, the vascular region is back here, and having your muscles tense up back there, it puts a lot of strain, and it pulls on those muscles, and it'll create those headaches that are back here, and it'll cause the headaches up in this range and up in the temporal range, But the headaches just, and it was kind of funny because, and I didn't intend for it to be funny, but the judge laughed. It was, the judge asked me when I went in for the disability things, he goes, "Mr. Clayton, did you have headaches before the accident?" And I looked at him and I said, "Well, I used to think I had headaches, but
right. Yeah.
I didn't have anything when it came to headaches like I do now. And
Right.
the headaches I do now, Jeff, are on a daily basis. And it's funny to me because I've been to support groups, and I know that you care deeply about other support groups, and we all should. We should all
Yeah.
support groups because they're great things for individuals.
Community, man. It's
Yeah,
all about
getting
the people want to know that they're not alone and that other people can relate to their
that's the
experience.
thing. That's
And
the thing right now,
yeah.
knowing that somebody else is out there who understands.
Yes. Exactly.
And you and I talked about this on my podcast, okay?
Yeah.
Where I cannot tell you what you're going through, and I will never try to tell you I understand what you're going through because I don't know. I can tell you what I went through, and I can tell you what my experiences are, and I can guide you in direction of people who might be able to help.
Yeah.
Or who have helped me in case you want to try that.
Yeah.
But I will never ever tell you I know what you're going through because that is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement ever to say.
Well, and it's not because I understand that people think they understand. Like, okay, you say I had a headache today, and they say, oh man, I hate those. I've had those. And you go, well, and sometimes you just have to, you can either get mad and try to get into it and explain it to them, or you can just say, yeah, man, yeah, I hate those, man. Yeah, I'm glad you got rid of it, man. Those are no fun. And knowing full well that their 1 to 10 scale for pain is very different from your 1 to 10 scale, and probably your 2 or 3 headache. Your 2 or 3 on the scale headache would probably be a 9 or a 10 for them. But it's all relative. It's all based on your own personal experience. So you try not to be too hard on them when they do say something like, "Oh man, yeah, I totally get it."
Yeah.
Jeff,
what
don't understand?
Yeah, what was amazing to me is in some of these support groups I would go to, and there were people who could no longer walk after their brain traumas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they would look at me and they would get tears in their eyes and they'd come up to me and hug me and they can't walk anymore. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's eye-opening, but it's kind of one of those things like going, God, I didn't say that to martyr myself. I didn't say that to, make myself, this is, I would gladly take headaches over the use of my legs any day.
Right. Yeah.
But it's intense the way that people see and look at things, but it's also a testament to individuals like yourself who have taken a situation that you can, that you're dealing with. You've gotten up off the ground, literally. You get up off the ground and you try to find a way, the best that you can, to deal with it. And, I know that you and I have talked to how your lovely wife, she takes and she helps you get through that. And putting yourself with these people, my lovely wife, my kids, my parents, putting yourself with these people who really support you, who can tell when your eyes are a little bit glossy, when you're sitting there going, okay, shush. Don't, and they seep into the background and they're like, okay, I understand.
Honestly,
that's the best thing in the world.
Honestly, Zach, the all I have to do is this right here. All I have to do is go like this. And they know, they're like, oh, okay. It's, you go into that one position that feels comfortable during whatever, and it's, once I'm there, they just kind of go, okay, they pause whatever's on TV. They, everybody just kind of freezes, it's so nice that people understand, but I want to put something up on the screen here. We're going to have to go to a break here in about 10 seconds, but I'm going to put this up here because I want people to be able to contact you, and I don't want to wait till the end of the show to do it because this is important, and we're going to get into this as soon as we come back. I want you to tell them about where this QR code goes, and how they can benefit people that are, featured on that, where that goes. So everybody, right now, everybody just scan that QR code, and we'll explain it after on the other side of the break, and and we'll go from there. So I appreciate you being here, Zach. This is awesome, and we're gonna go to a break here, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and we'll pick up, and we'll talk a little more about. Hopefully, we can get into a little more about the organization and what you're doing. So we'll see you guys in just a second. All right, man. So we put this up on the screen just before we left. I'm going to do it again. So this barcode will go to barcode. God, I did it again. QR code. Everybody knows what I mean when I say barcode, okay?
It's a scanny thingy.
Scan this weird looking square on your screen, whatever it's called, and it'll go to a landing page, I guess you could call it. That's got Zach. It's got your business card. It's got all your social media links. It's got your links that'll go to your organization. That is awesome. And so we'll put that up throughout the show. But also I'm going to do this too, because this is actually the website to where people can go and learn more about what you're doing in spite of what has happened, which I think is awesome. So let's. I mean, I kind of want to talk more about your story a little bit, but I want to make sure we get in here about the. I mean, I was on your podcast, and then you kind of threw me into this community like we knew each other for years, and I so appreciate it, and it's been so cool to know that I'm part of that too. So tell us about that. Let's just go there.
Well, first off, Jeff, the first thing that you're looking at, the website and the QR code, they're called For My Cards, okay? And the greatest thing about those is you look at these, okay? These are a regular business card. Mm-hmm. And I've been trying for years because, I'm just kind of a dingus that way, and I do it. But I'll touch the phone number on this, and it won't make a phone call. I've actually got to take and dial the number, or touch the email address, and it doesn't send an email. It just goes, what? Stop pressing me so hard.
Come on
my For My Card, which is one of our wonderful, wonderful giving partners. If you order a For My Card for you, they will donate to a wonderful organization like Jeff and what they're doing, trying to help with Hydro with Hope. So yeah, it's it's a fantastic product. But yeah, it's something that one of the things as a biker, and this is going back to the story.
Yeah.
One of the things as a biker, okay, one of the misnomers is you'll see a bunch of bikers that are out there on the weekend, and they're all grouped together, and we're all wearing our black leather, or some of us wear gray. Just saying.
Why not?
And they're all together, they're making noises. You'll see them at bars. You'll see, oh God, they're out there. We're out there raising money. Most of the time, we're out there raising money. We're raising money for children. We're raising money for veterans. We're raising money for businesses. We're raising money for something.
Yeah.
The honor flight. I been through thousands of them. So, it's just, we get together on the weekends, and we deal with small businesses in our communities, and we use these small communities as businesses as partners to help support and lift people in our community.
Yeah.
People who need help. Because, and Jeff, this is something you, being the director of a 501c3, you'll understand this. Look, if people are struggling around you, why are you doing business there? It doesn't make any sense. If everyone is struggling, no one's got the money. Yeah. So let's help people get back up on their feet. And when we do that by sending people to our small businesses, which is the only reason there's an economy in your area, Walmart doesn't help your economy.
Thank you.
They don't.
Yeah.
If we send them to the small businesses, and we're able to keep mom and pop shops, I just love that term, mom and pop shops, if we can just keep them in business, and if we can provide them with business, the best thing, you're dealing with the owners, okay? You're dealing with people who know the product religiously. They love and live this product. So if there's a problem with it, it's not like going and taking it to the big box where the kid's sitting there with the name tag texting on his phone going, you're actually talking to somebody who they understand. They understand the product, and they can actually tell you how to get it fixed.
Yeah.
2, you're dealing with people in your community who understand your community. You're dealing with people who, look, they understand how important you are. These businesses, Jeff, they would they would donate things to us, and it would get to the point where, we'd go to them and we'd say, hey, we've got this veteran who's got cancer. We would like to raise some money for him for the treatments, for everything that's going on. And they would go, Leanne at the Beavers Den, I mentioned her earlier. She would go, go over to that wall. There's that set of leather saddlebags. It's worth $300-400. Put it in the silent auction. Raise some money so we can help this guy get on.
Nice. Then
we would take and we'd go back 2 or 3 weeks later to give her a certificate of appreciation or something like that. And Leanne would have tears in her eyes.
Yeah.
As she's scratching out a check for her mortgage.
Right.
And I don't know if I can cover this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That really led to community pay it forward right there. That and the fact is, my first thought was I was going to get into being an event planner. My second thought followed 15 seconds later, like, I don't like people near enough to plan an event for them. So
let somebody else do that likes people.
Yeah, look, there's nobody in this world that would want a Zak Clayton wedding. I am telling you this right now, okay? I've been married 3 times, and my wives were all, look, if you show up, fine. If you don't, we'll do this without you. But you have no input whatsoever. And so what we decided to do to support organizations like Hydro with Hope, is we're working with small businesses all over the country, all over the world.
Yeah.
And what we ask you to do is we ask you just to amend your shopping habits. It's that simple. We're not asking you to do anything special.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you make a purchase with those businesses, one of like say you need somebody who or somebody who needs a new website, or you yourself need a new website. You call my buddy Mr. Z, and you say, hey, you know what, I heard about you guys through Community Pay It Forward. Let's have a conversation.
I love that guy.
Yeah. And one of the things that we do, Jeff, and one of the things that we honestly do promote is that conversation.
Yes.
Because again, I've got a convenience store that I live three minutes from walking.
Yeah.
But I'll drive 2 miles to go to another convenience store where it's not a kid sitting there yelling on his cell phone, picking his nose.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd rather walk in and say, wow, your Nuggets really took it in the gut last night, didn't they? I love that interaction, and that's what we're trying to promote.
The people, and
you
exactly.
feel like you're not just a customer. You feel like a person. You don't feel like a receipt.
Right.
You feel like a person when you can go in and you can do that. And so what we do is we get you to go in and meet with Mr. Z, and there's my co-host. She had to take and make an appearance, but and you hire him, and then Mr. Z gives us a referral. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm from Kansas, so we're going to use easy math here.
There you go.
Say he gives us $100. Jeff, what we do is very simple. We turn around, and if they attach that receipt to the QR code that I provided, Hydro for Hope, or Hydro with Hope, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Yep.
Yeah. Then you guys get 80 of those $100. It's that simple.
I love
We're
that.
not going to ask you, hey, can you round up to the nearest dollar? Do you want to join my cult or my church or anything like that? By the way, my cult, my church, it's watching a bunch of hockey and eating Hostess Twinkies.
There you go.
It's a kind of a cool cult.
Yeah. There you go. I love that because that's so simple. There's so many things out there that are so complicated. It feels complicated to me. And like when you go into especially like the big chains, right? It's like, do you, I'm not going to mention any by name because everybody knows who they are, but you go into some of them and they're like, do you want to round up to the nearest dollar to save whatever? And, and it's like, you almost have to, because otherwise you feel like the jerk, like the ultimate jerk walking out of there with your tail between your legs going, I didn't help the children,
Yeah, I didn't help the Turkish sunflower. Oh my God.
But this is so passive and so I mean, you're doing the shopping anyway. You may as well go somewhere that can make a difference in a local nonprofit and a local business. So I absolutely love that, because in fact we've had people on this show specifically because they have a local business in downtown Colorado Springs. There's an amazing business that we featured on our season finale, and she's phenomenal. And I can't imagine Colorado Springs without her. So we wanted to make sure she stayed in business. So we're like, well, let's put them on the show. So we talked to her and she was on the show. It was awesome. But that's what we got to do. We got to keep that going because the big stores, the big boys, they can afford it. They don't, and their money doesn't stay in the community anyway. So usually, so I love what you're doing. And
Jeff, here's the other thing, and this is seriously the most important part of our program. Okay, you as the customer, you get to support an organization like Hydro with Hope.
Mm-hmm.
You get to support something you care about. It's not what this store has made the decision that, we're going to support insert big organization here because they're going to give us a tax write-off because you donated 47 cents.
We're going to support the National Underwater Basket Weaving Association or something that nobody cares about, or maybe that you totally disagree with, maybe they support something that goes against your values or something, but you're shopping there because it's the only place you can find something, and you're forcing your dollars to go somewhere you don't agree with. Here you can choose.
Yeah, and we're not asking you to round up to the nearest dollar. We're asking you to make a purchase. That's all it is. Just make a purchase.
Anyway. So
you got to make this purchase anyway. And see, here's the other thing that's like, extremely important about this is that, small organizations like yours, and look, God love the big guys. Okay. God love the big guys. They do good. I don't always agree with what they do. I don't agree with a lot of their policies.
Yeah.
I don't agree with how a lot of it is post 9/11.
National organizations are awesome because they get the word out big time.
Yep. But here's the thing. They are more likely to lose that $10 that you're going to get than use it.
Yeah.
Jeff Pearson, if he gets a $10 donation, there's going to be a tear in his eye because he's going to be able to do something with it. That book that's sitting behind Jeff Pearson is going to be able to get into someone's hands because you made a purchase and cared enough just to attach a receipt to a QR code.
People do it for fundraisers. Kids' schools, man. Yeah. Every kid's school has a fundraiser at the pizza place or at the restaurant or whatever. And it's almost always a local restaurant, by the way. It's almost never a national chain. If you've ever noticed that, I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's always the little guy. Once in a while they'll do a big one, but most of the time it's the local guy. And all they got to do is, they just say, hey, this purchase, I'm doing this to support such and such a school or church or whatever. And that's where it goes. And people are used to doing that all the time. But people are doing so much online that this just makes it so simple. One of the big differences that we have there, Jeff, is that is one day. They set up those campaigns for one day. This is open to every day of the year. Every day.
The only restriction are the business hours of the partners and when you are awake. And let's be honest, with the invention of online shopping, that's not even a problem most of the time.
Nope.
So, I said, Mr. Z is an organization, Z World Webs, there in New York City.
Yeah.
And, and they can go to, as I've said, his donation can go to you as a nonprofit or, a great friend of ours, John Wayne Vogel's in
oh boy. Welcome to live TV, everybody. This is what happens when the internet freezes, apparently, on your guest's computer. All right, Zach. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm going to go to a commercial. I'm going to take him off the screen right now so he can figure that out. And we'll see you guys in just a minute. I'm going to go to a commercial. This is perfect timing. I was going to do it in a minute anyway. So let's do it, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Greg Russell. I'm the host of TechnologyTuesday.com. You can find us on the Conscious Business TV network every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the latest resources to help you make more money in your business. Join us on E360 TV. Come on.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. And you know what? Welcome to live TV, everybody. I don't know what happened with Zak's internet connection, but apparently in Greeley, which is where he lives, which is about 2-ish hours north of us, the internet got a little cranky and decided to shut him down. But he'll be back. And until he gets back, I am going to put this right back up on the screen because this is where the action is at right here, baby. Because we have not known each other for very long, but I feel like I know him really well because of the context in how we met and how he actually had me on his show, his podcast, his video podcast. And it's amazing. And I think if you go to my personal LinkedIn page, it's there. And you can go and watch the podcast, the video podcast. And it was an amazing conversation, and it was an amazing appearance, and we just got so much out there and had so much good conversation. So if you have a chance, go check that out because it'll tell you more about his organization as well. So and it looks like he's come back. He got his internet to behave here. So we're going to bring him back on. Give me 1 second. There we go. Hey, welcome back.
Well, the good news is that I was talking for about 2 minutes. Nobody could hear me, but yeah. So gotta love the internet.
You just froze. I thought, oh, okay, what a perfect time to go to a commercial. This is perfect. This is great. We were gonna do. I literally, you don't have to believe me, but I was as soon as you would have stopped talking, I would have been like, okay, commercial time. We were going anyway, so that
worked out perfectly.
Worked out anyway.
Yeah, the internet did something that nobody else has been able to do. It shut me up.
Yeah. It has its way of doing that with people sometimes.
Yes, it does.
I love that. That's hilarious. Oh man. So, all right, man. I got a question for you then. Here we go. I ask everybody, and then we're going to get back into what we're talking about. But I have to ask this because, especially with somebody that I can relate to so well with the traumatic brain injuries and the headaches and oh my God, the daily, wondering of, am I going to be able to go out to the store today, or am I going to end up on the floor in the produce aisle and somebody's going to be stepping over me and wondering what's wrong with me? How do you find hope day to day, Zak?
You just can't live scared.
Yeah.
But you've also got to understand your limitations. If you know that you're going to walk into a store and you're going to be standing in an aisle for 35 minutes against a shelf and people are going to walk up to you going, do I need to call an ambulance? And you're like going, why? Well, because you've been standing here for, 35 minutes against the Oreo cookies. We thought maybe you were eating them,
Yeah.
You really have to, and this is hard for someone to do because we all want to fight it.
Yeah.
But you have to know your limitations.
Yeah.
You are the only one who knows your body.
Right.
A doctor guesses. Okay. A doctor knows your anatomy. They do not know your body.
Mm.
A head injury, Jeff, and we mentioned this on the show. A head injury is different than a broken arm. A broken arm, regardless if it's you, me, the neighbor down the street who's, 70 years old and African American. They're
Yeah.
going to put that arm in a cast. It's going to heal. They're not going to do that with a head injury. Okay, there is no known treatment for head injuries. It's time, and it's knowing your limitations.
Yep. It's true. And knowing your limitations. I mean, that's perfectly put. So in the midst of all that, all those limitations and all the, what do you find yourself thankful for day to day?
I find obviously it's everyone around me. It's my two sons.
Nice.
My my wife, my parents. It's all of them. My dogs.
That
That
said hi earlier.
Yeah.
Your co-host.
Right. My co-host, my partners.
Yeah.
The mission partners, my giving partners, my sponsors. Because they all come into this relationship knowing, look, this guy could lose it at any time and have to shut down.
Yeah.
This isn't the easiest guy in the world to we've had this meeting on the books for 6 months, but we've got to understand that, he might not be able to be there on that day because he's just got a migraine, and the migraine's so bad he can't talk.
Yep.
Or he's emotional, or he's angry, or something like that. Or he just can't wake up.
Right.
And
well, I mean, I totally get it. I'm listening to this going, yep, just checking them off in my head. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm extremely thankful for the chance to get to learn who I am.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because prior to this, I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
1 week prior to me being run off the road, I had a conversation with one of my very best friends in the world, and somebody came up to me and they asked me some advice on a poker run, which is where we raise the money for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them, it's kind of the secret of life. If you're going to do something, make sure you do something that makes a statement that's different than everything else. Because if you're just the same as everyone else, no one's going to remember it.
Yeah.
Make sure you put your stamp on it. Make sure that you do it. And I got back to my table, and my buddy was sitting there, and we'll clean this up for polite society, but he looked
for the
at me
FCC rules of TV.
He said, "You are such an idiot," and I'm like, "Thanks." He goes, "You love helping people, and you're so good at it. Yet you go to a job, you work 70 hours a week religiously, and you hate every minute of it." And I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Mm.
I said every day, I hate my job.
Yeah.
I hate my job. I hate doing this. But I did it. And I did it. And I worked, like I said, I worked 70 hours religiously.
Mm-hmm.
And, and that was Monday through Friday. And I was off work by noon on Friday. That's how hard I worked.
Yikes. Yeah.
But, and I looked at my friend and I said, look, how am I supposed to do this? First off, I have no time. Second off, money.
Yeah. Right.
Who would have known? Who would have known? Exactly 1 week later.
Yeah.
I was given the time. I was laying in a ditch.
Yep.
With all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Still don't have the money, but we're working on that. So.
Yeah, that's right. That money, it's funny because when the cause is right, the money will come. I mean, when it's truly something that you're passionate about and that you're that it's gonna, be beneficial to so many people like yours is. And it's gonna be there, it can't help it, and speaking of, I was just gonna, I just remembered this actually. One of our other guests on the show a few weeks ago, the Aziza Project is actually on, is part of your organization as well. And she was Stephanie Berman, right? She was on the show not that long ago talking about an invisible condition, one invisible condition she has. She's going to be on another show in the future talking about another one, but she also got to talk about the Aziza Project, which you are benefiting through your organization as well. So it's widespread, man. As
a matter of fact, Stephanie's going to be on with us on Wednesday night. And we're working this month to make to share the message of the Aziza Project, and we're working with I gave her the nickname the Goddess of the Grape, great partner of mine, Stephanie Samos, and every time that we sell a bottle of wine, Stephanie Berman gets a portion for the Aziza Project. And
nice.
With One Hope Wines. And it's a program that Stephanie and I put together because we both want to make sure. Jeff, something that you said is that is, look, this program's not for everyone. We all know that we all need money. Okay. But we're looking for that person that when they find $20 in their pocket and a coat that, they haven't wore for 6 months, that they're going to sit there and they're going to realize, okay, for me, this is going to be another soda. This is going to be another cup of coffee. This is going to be, wow, where was this last week when I didn't have any Starbucks or whatever?
Yeah.
What this program is for somebody who's going to sit there and go, you know what? I have this money. I didn't know I had this money. I'm going to give it to a single mom who's sitting there and doesn't know where she's going to get cereal for her kids.
Yep.
Doesn't know how she's going to get her kids to daycare so she can go to work.
Right.
That's what our program is. We
want
to make sure that everything that you do, everything that you put in your to-do list can go to support someone. And again, this is without spending any additional money.
You're already spending it. Yeah.
Yep.
So everybody that's watching right now, I've had this, I've kind of put this on the screen off and on throughout the show. And so, because I feel like, I know people are watching on their phones. Sometimes it's on an iPad, sometimes it's on TV, sometimes it's on whatever the computer. So I know not everybody's going to be able to access the QR code or the website all the time. But once this episode is done live, once we're off the air live, it is always on demand at E360 TV. That'll be up later on there. And it's immediately available on the Invisible Condition Facebook page and YouTube channel. So you can, the second this goes off the air, you can go to either one of those platforms, go back in the episode and search for the QR code, scan it, use it. You're rolling. So anyway, Zach, I hate to say it, but it's not a podcast, man. We don't have all the time in the world, and we are out of time. And I hate that part of the scheduled nature of this, but we are essentially done. But what is the quickest way somebody could get in touch with you if they wanted to be a partner in this?
The QR code that's I'm sorry, that's right in front of you, or just go to communitypayitforward.us. That is communitypayitforward.us.
Awesome. I love it. I am so thankful that we got to do this and reciprocate, right? Because I was on your podcast and now you're on the TV show. And so I'm so glad we'll do this again. Down the road. We got to do this again.
Sounds great.
Sure there'll be updates and everything. So, but thank you. Thank you, Zach. I so appreciate you being here and telling your story and getting the word out.
Well, I thank you. Now I can go and get my surgery on Monday and relax a little. So,
jeez. Well, yeah. Everybody keep Zach in your prayers for that surgery, man. That's surgery's never never a small thing. So, all right, man. Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. That was awesome. I love that guy. So everybody go watch that show with the Aziza Project. She was awesome. Stephanie Berman's amazing. Go check it out. Join us Tuesday, October 17th. We're going to be talking about how invisible conditions can impact family relationships, specifically marriages. We're going to have a guest back, Dr. Pauline Dillard. She was on a previous episode. Now she's going to be talking about what she does to help people. In fact, she was on the season finale talking about what she does to help families. And it is so impactful. You're not going to want to miss it. Join us on Tuesday, October 17th. Until then, have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.